But it was too late. Stevie J hit play, and Bambi's jail call began to reverberate throughout the courtroom. I used him, and her words hit me like bullets. Lil Scrappy stood up, his face red, his breathing heavy, and she had lied to me for years in my home. The courtroom exploded. The judge slammed the gavel. Mama D screamed, and the cameras were rolling. What the hell just happened? Why would Stevie J leak Bambi's jail calls during a court hearing? What is he hiding? Why is Lil Scrappy acting as though he has just discovered that his entire marriage was a trap? And hip-hop scene Stevie J's voice echoed across the courtroom like a villain straight out of a Bet movie. The entire room froze. Mama D clutched her pearls like she saw a ghost. Then it happened. A small flash drive. These leaked calls are not just personal. They're proof. That Bambi's game went way deeper. You're not prepared for what you're about to hear, but once you do, you'll never look at these three the same again. Your Honor, I have new evidence. Plugging into the courtroom system, the speaker said, "Hey, I know what I said. I was never in love with him. I did what I had to do." Suddenly, the entire courtroom realized that this was a betrayal trial and not a divorce case. Let's fast forward a few months ago, when Lil Scrappy and Bambi were going through what fans believed to be just another messy VH1 breakup. Some people unfollowed each other on Instagram. And, however, nobody anticipated that Stevie J would reveal the ultimate receipt in front of a live judge. Why did he even have those jail let's talk timeline? Bambi had been in legal hot water for months due to allegations of fraud, fake businesses, identity schemes, you name it. She played it cool on social media, posting Bible verses and soft launching her peace journey. But in the meantime, the streets were talking. And, more importantly, the jails were talking. So why was he so eager to leak them publicly? This wasn't just a beef. This was a coordinated takedown, and Lil Scrappy was the last to learn that he'd been cast as a background extra in a show he used to star in. The question is who she spoke to as soon as she entered prison. However, we do know that Stevie J, her longtime friend, ex-situational partner, and low-key chaos magnet, managed to obtain private recordings of Bambi's phone conversations from prison. In one clip, she said bluntly, "Scrappy week. He was never supposed to make it past season 3. Now, picture your little Scrappy already hurt and embarrassed. LMA. And the entire courtroom hearing your wife claim that she used you to gain airtime and influence. What did Scrappy do? He snapped in front of the judge. That's what you really think of me after everything. The judge was banging that gavel like he was trying to break the table. The courtroom deputies had to step in, and Mama D stood up. Like it was Sunday service. I told you all that she was evil, and you can't make this up, but wait, there's more. It turns out that Stevie J had a timeline and presentation receipts printed in color. This wasn't just a bitter ex. It was a full-on expose, and Bambi was in the spotlight. In another clip, Bambi states, "If I had to fake, I'm a survivor, so excuse me." 2 weeks prior to her requesting alimony, Stevie paused the video. Your Honor. The room fell silent once more. Let's take a moment to zoom out because this wasn't just a courtroom drama. It was a reality TV meltdown that spilled into real life, and fans were consuming it on Twitter. TikTok was ablaze with theories, and the hashtag #FreeScrappyBambi exposed that Stevie obtained the tapes. People were sharing clips of the co-audio as if it were the latest Kanye album. However, this was the true reason why Stevie J leaked. If the rumors are accurate, Bambi was playing both sides and texting Scrappy sweet nothings while sneaking off with Stevie J behind the scenes. Don't believe it. Just wait. And just like that, the courtroom drama turned into a betrayal saga that no one was prepared for. The judge attempted to issue an order, but Stevie J wasn't done. He looked directly at Scrappy and then at Bambi and said, "You think I'm the villain?" "No, sweetheart, you penned the entire story." And then he revealed, "The last surprise. As long as Mama D doesn't get involved, we'll be fine." However, guess who was already involved? Mama D was sitting in the courtroom, her face frozen, as if she was listening to funeral. She took out her phone and posted a selfie with the caption, "Been quiet too long. It's time to drag some demons to the light. Receipts ready." Within 10 minutes, her DMs were flooded with former assistants and hairstylists. They were recording a late-night call between Bambi and someone identified as Z, and you could hear it in her voice. Everybody had something to say. Bambi. Even the former cast members of Love and Hip Hop began posting anonymous voice notes and texts. One anonymous message said, "She'd been messing with Stevie since 2022. Scrappy found out once but stayed for the cameras." Another said Bambi told people she only married Scrappy to boost her skin skink line. Let it brand alignment sick. Now, fans weren't just watching the courtroom. They were watching history unfold in real time on Instagram Live. And even Safari said, "Damn, I thought my drama was wild." You all are different at this point. The internet had crowned Bambi the queen of manipulation, Stevie J the unofficial prosecutor, and Mama D the courtroom bishop, but this is where things went haywire. Naturally, TMZ's fake report obtained a leaked folder from the courthouse archive, which contained a photo of Bambi and Stevie J together in what appeared to be a hotel elevator. Timestamped 2 days prior to her jail booking. The caption read, "The night before it all fell apart, was Stevie helping Bambi or setting her up? Because, let's be honest, this man walked into court with, and according to our fictitious courtroom insider." Stevie didn't stop there. He filed a separate defamation suit against Bambi last month because she claimed that Bambi was attempting to blame him for her fraud cases. She told people that Stevie was the one who helped her navigate the fraudulent LLC game and that he introduced her to a Manamed crypto Dave E, who assisted her in moving money through shell companies. Stevie came prepared, too, with edited and time-stamped audio files, a color-coded presentation, and a flash drive that could ruin lives. Turned whistleblower, and guess who he testified to at the IRS and FBI? Based on fictitious documents leaked by an anonymous court clerk, VH1's internal HR team claims that producers knew something shady was happening, but they encouraged it for ratings. Keep the drama going. One fictitious email said, "It's our biggest season yet." Meanwhile, Scrappy was falling apart. He showed up to court the following day wearing a hoodie and sunglasses without a wedding ring, and the courtroom was getting ready for the next hearing when the internet was revealing something even more profound: old clips. Episodes, and as old intent Bambi implied that loyalty was seasonal, and now fans were posting side by side, zooming into expresento facials and analyzing every quote. It was no longer a scandal, but a televised autopsy of a fake marriage built on real money. The green light to dive into everything, including the fake skincare business, real estate scams, and even Bambi's OnlyFans income, which had, according to one fake Reddit thread, been strategically underreported. When the courtroom doors closed for the day, Scrappy left in silence. There were no words or smiles, only betrayal that hung in the air like perfume. However, don't get comfortable. The next morning, the courthouse was quiet, but it wasn't an earthquake-like silence. Little Scrappy pulled up in a black SUV with no entourage or shades. His face was cold and exhausted, and he walked right past the paparazzi. He didn't even bat an eye when someone yelled, "Scrappy, is Bambi going to jail?" It wasn't just the typical crowd in the courtroom. The judge began with a firm tone, saying, "We're proceeding with newly entered evidence from federal investigators. In conjunction with state court materials translation, the case had gone federal. The first thing they introduced were bank statements, not just Bambi's, but a joint business account under her and Scrappy's names tied to a fake wellness brand called Glow, Mommy Inc. Guess who made monthly deposits to it to get Stevie J over $80,000 in just 6 months? Now, there were 3 new faces sitting behind the prosecution bench. No. Judge slammed the gavel for order in the courtroom, but it was too late. The atmosphere had changed. This was no longer a messy divorce. Instead, it was fraud, conspiracy, and racketeering charges waiting to be unsealed. And guess what else? They had a video taken by fake informant of Bambi in a backroom studio. The courtroom gasped when the chart appeared on the screen. It was under Bambi, Stevie, and an Anonkamfel Kumpunieni, all moving money like it was Monopoly. Mama D couldn't remain silent, so she stood up mid-sharing, clapping sarcastically. VH1 paid for the show. Scrappy paid for the lifestyle. And I just fine-tuned the math, Stevie J said, grinning as he counted stacks of cash. Boom, the courtroom was stunned. Ed Scrappy looked like the floor had dropped beneath him. M.He.L.D. Harward hands gripping the table, whispering something under his breath no mic could catch. But his eyes, they were locked on Stevie like fire. Stevie did blink. Link, he actually had the nerve Bambi. MB Bambi, meanwhile, la buried, her face in her hands. Her lawyer Leanne whispered something. Ething. G and her head slowly nodded. Then it came. Your Honor? The judge leaned forward to hear what her lawyer stood for. No contest in exchange for leniency and full cooperation. With federal investigators, Scrappy's mouth dropped. The betrayal wasn't over yet. Now, Bambi was flipping, snitching, turning on Stevie, turning on Crypto Dave, and even turning on the VH1 producers who helped her cover it all up. She was willing to burn down the entire empire if it meant saving herself, and she wasn't wasting time. That same afternoon, investigators discovered that Bambi had changed her plea. 5 folders containing screenshots, transaction logs, and email threads between her and several unidentified individuals, including producers, fictitious lawyers, and Stevie himself, were sent to her. One of the emails had the subject line, "If this gets out, we're all Ed y'all doll Jew, D, y'all." This here was No and Stevie. Bye. E. Don't make me relieve voicemail.l.l. I got clips for days. Mama D said in a video that went live on Instagram as soon as she left court, shouting into the phone. The video received 75,000 views in less than 10 minutes, and fan modifications appeared on TikTok. The final blow came when a leaked warrant revealed that federal agents were seizing assets linked to the fictitious business accounts, including Bambi's Atlanta condo, a Range Rover in Stevie J's name, jewelry purchased using Scrappy's joint credit line, and so on. By this point, VH1 had issued a statement that went totally fake. Of course, we are conducting an internal review of past episodes and staff conduct. At this time, all cast members involved are suspended from future filming. The most outrageous part, according to an anonymous source, is that Bambi was also being investigated for witness tampering, that she attempted to pay a former friend $5,000 to stay offline and out of it, as well as a luxury wig. The friend took the money and posted the receipts. Bambi was now facing 3 felony charges: fraud, money laundering, and tampering with Q. Like with a federal witness, Stevie J, he had not yet been charged but was listed as a person of interest in Scrappy. His legal team pushed to have Bambi's parental rights suspended pending the outcome of her case that same day. Fans on social media were gone crazy over TikTok that went viral. This ain't love and hip-hop no more. It's love and federal time. Another tweet that went viral was Bambi had Scrappy raising their kids while she was cashing Stevie's checks. Jail calls aren't enough. Drop the Netflix doc. Even celebrities couldn't remain silent. K. Michelle posted a mysterious Instagram story that read, "Table torn, chairs are asphalt, P, the camera's rolling." Ray J made a phony comment. But outside, the fire was just getting started. Stevie J was seen leaving the courthouse with a duffel bag and a smirk, refusing to answer questions. Mama D was holding court on Instagram Live, giving testimony like a preacher at a revival. And Scrappy's team released one final press statement, which was obviously a fake. All of this was happening in public inside that courtroom. The judge asked Ms. Bambi, "Do you understand the consequences of your plea and agreement to cooperate?" Her voice was barely above a whisper. Before the final gavel could even hit the wood, TMZ made one final headline. Federal agents issue warrant for VH1 exec tied to. The client is focused on healing his children and reclaiming his life from the lies that nearly broke him. The internet crowned him Survivor of the Year, Bambi, Queen of the Scam. And Stevie, well, Twitter called him the Devil's Soundtrack. As the sun set on that courtroom, one thing was clear. His wasn't just a scandal, but a reality. There was no script, no edits, no VH1 cover-ups, just raw, exposed betrayal served up in front of a judge, jury, and the entire world. What do you think about all this madness? Was Bambi the mastermind behind the whole scam? Or was Stevie J the real puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes? Where does that leave Lil Scrappy? An innocent victim or just another player caught in this twisted game? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Want to hear every theory, hot takeaway, and crazy conspiracy you have brewing. If you're shocked by these revelations, hit the like button like your life depends on it. This drama is only getting hotter, and we're going to bring you every leaked call, every secret meeting, and every courtroom showdown as it unfolds. Until then, stay tuned, remain skeptical, and never forget that in the world of reality TV, the truth is frequently revealed. Make sure to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're the first to catch every explosive update as it drops. Messier and wilder than fiction.